lesson is on tone and mood and knowing the difference between the two. So, tone is the writer's attitude toward the subject of the piece, the audience, and self, also known as the way feelings are expressed. If someone has ever said to you to watch your tone, you understand what tone is. So you can find this through diction for one of the ways that you can find it as the author in the writing that he or she uses. So actually in the words, and we'll look at that here in a second. Also at the point of view, by figuring out the author's viewpoint and how it affects what he or she is saying in the writing. Syntax is also the arrangement of words to create sentences and the author's level of formality. And I did not mean to do that. Let's go back to this. Okay. So the next slide, if I can figure out what I'm doing as I'm doing this. It's not wanting to show me. There we go. There we go. So don't use that tone of voice with me. Has anyone ever said that to you? If they have, you understand tone. Tone can turn in a statement like, "You're a big help," into a genuine compliment or a cruel, sarcastic remark. So someone could say, "You are such a big help. Thank you so much." Or someone could say, "Oh, you're a big help." Then you know the difference between tone. Depends on the context of the story. These are some important tone words. So, accusatory, bitter, critical, earnest, intimate, matter-of-fact, optimistic, reverent, reflective, sarcastic, sincere, and solemn, meaning sad. So those are the kind of different things that you could possibly say is the tone of a passage. Now the difference here is if someone said, "Well, you're in a mood," mood is the emotion evoked by a text in the reader. It's what you experience. So if you were to walk into my room and I am yelling at you, my tone would put you in the mood. So that's the difference between tone and mood. Writers use many devices to create the mood. Dialogue is one of the ways. So language between the characters, it's what's in quotation marks, what they're actually saying to each other. Setting, where and when the story takes place, who the characters are, can also help you to figure out mood. So if it's in a dark, dreary alley, you might know the mood there. Plot is the rise and fall of action and events throughout the piece. So you can tell by, like in a scary movie, plots sometimes act slow when there's suspense on the screen. So the plot can also give way to that. Important mood words. So suspense, lonely, happy, angry, anxious, tense, suspicious, excited, depressed, scared, and disgusted. Those are things that you might feel from the tone. So tone versus mood. These two words are easy to get confused when reading a text. So we're going to look at a Venn diagram of these two things. So tone is the attitude that an author takes toward the audience, the subject that he's writing about, or a particular character. Tone is conveyed through the author's words and details. You can use context clues to help you to determine the tone. The author sets the tone through the words that he uses. Possible tones are as numerous as the number of possible emotions a human being can have. On the other side of that Venn diagram, we have mood. Mood is an emotion that you, the reader, feels when you are reading that piece of work. Some pieces of literature can make you feel sad, angry, or happy, just like a movie. Often, a writer creates the mood at the beginning of a piece and then carries that same mood throughout the piece. Sometimes the mood will change as characters or plot changes. Now the similarities, the middle of that Venn diagram, we have they both convey emotion through their words, and the way a reader feels about a piece can be determined through facial expressions, gestures, and in the tone, the way that the author expresses his or her feelings through the piece of voice used. Just think, if you were to walk into my room and I'm yelling at you, my tone makes you in a mood. Whether that mood is in a bad mood, in a sad mood, whatever that is. Okay, so tone is the tone of voice. Mood is the mood it puts you in. So beware, tone and mood can be easily confused. Tone simply refers to how the author feels toward the subject or towards something. You will know what the author's tone is implying by the words he uses. While mood refers to the feeling of the atmosphere the author is describing. It is what the author makes you feel when you read his writings. You can read a sentence and feel sad, happy, or angry. Examples of tone. I'd rather stay here and wait than go in that dark room. That sentence above imposes the person is scared. The sun is shining brightly in the meadow. Let's go out and play. The sentence above imposes that the person is happy and excited. I called my friend at their house. Her brother says she's not home, but I heard her voice come over the line. That is a suspicious feeling. Examples of mood. The night was dark and stormy. This sentence gives you a scary mood or feeling. The man kicked and threw the poor cat out of his house. That gives you a feeling of anger or pity towards that cat. There was plenty of food and the music was playing. Everybody was having a good time. This is happiness or fun. Okay, so knowing the difference between mood and tone is half the battle. Don't forget that the tone affects the mood.